Hey all you super players out there, Ben Lore's AK 5 Buck Lunch, and today we're going over the new cards they previewed in the anniversary box. I wanted to wait and kind of do them all at once rather than do them like every day as they come out, then I can get you, different content on different days. But since tomorrow they said they're going to release all the rest of them, I wanted to go over kind of the cards that Bandai thought were special enough to release early and show us. And just like a lot of the other anniversary packs and kind of these side contents, they're all improving older decks that kind of aren't viable now. Some things people really liked in the past we don't have the option to play. And to start off, they have Bojack, which I want to go over the leader first real quick. And so the way you play Bojack basically is your whole deck relies around Bojack the Plunderer, where basically on turn 4 you EX evolve over a 3-drop Bojack into this Bojack, tap all your opponent's cards down, and then when they untap all their cards, they have to warp a card for each. And the reason that it's not really viable right now is because the deck's super narrow, like that's its only way to win, and you have to be above 5 life to really do it correctly, and like there's a whole bunch of stipulations. You have to play a bunch of Bojack cards. So it's not terrible, don't get me wrong, but because like you play this Bojack, it just gets like Frieza countered and dies, and now you're nowhere. Like it's just got those kind of problems for tournament play. So let's see if the cards that we got for Bojack will fix that. So the first one is Violent Rush Bojack, which is a 7-cost 20k arrival for 1 blue or for 1 yellow, and it's barrier unique active. When this card activates Aegis, blue yellow, draw a card, and it has Aegis. This doesn't really. I mean, I guess it's kind of, you could kind of an alternate win condition, but I don't think it's powerful enough for that. So this card doesn't super impress me. Now, putting it in another blue-yellow deck, that might actually be good, because this card by itself is actually a pretty solid card. I don't know why it's such a high cost, but the fact that it has Barrier with Aegis is really good, because it just makes it very hard to clear, and if your opponent attacks, you get to untap energy, you pitch a blue-yellow, it replaces itself. Just a very solid card in general. So I can definitely see this card saying play. I just don't think it's that good in the Bojack deck specifically. Oop. Went through 2 there. Violent Rush Sengaya. So she's a 2-drop yellow. If your leader card is Bojack Brigade card, which is only Bojack, when it's using a combo from your battle area, it gets plus 5k power. And then at the end of the battle, when this card is using a combo from the battle area, return this card to its hand. So Bojack has a lot of ways to put its battle cards in play for free from your deck, which is why this is good. The idea is you would use one of those Bojack cards to put this in play for free. On your opponent's turn, you get a free 10k combo that goes back to your hand. You can combo with it again. Very solid card. Does not solve Bojack's problem, though. So that's the problem with that. Bojack Galactic Disruptor is a 3-drop. If you have 2 or more Bojack Brigade in play this card from your hand, then you can't play copies for the turn. If your leader card is a yellow Bojack card on its front side, if you have 2 or more energy, you can discard this card from your hand, flip your leader card to its back side, and draw 2 cards. So this is interesting because it allows you to awaken early, which helps you stay at high health because you need to be 5 health for your full combo to go off. And it's also a free put-in-play 3, so on turn 4 it makes it easier to play it. So this kind of alleviates the problem a little bit, but not enough, I don't think. We'll have to see. There are definitely some improvements, but I'm not sure if it's enough to actually make the Bojack into like a tournament viable deck. Next up, we have cards for the Broly deck. And first off, we have Chile and Limo the Bandits. It's a 2-drop with Deflect. Leader card is a green Shenron deck. When this card is played, choose 1, choose up to 2 Dragon Ball. With Dragon Ball skills from your deck and drop area, shuffle your deck, draw a card, or add 1 green Desire. So this is supposed to go with the Chile Limo Wish deck. I mean, it's not bad. Paying 2 for this is a lot, though. Pretty much all of the Dragon Ball like supporter cards that you play are free, or they'll like combo for 1. So I'm not sure if this is really good enough. It's not terrible. And then we have Allied Reinforcements, which is a new wish. This card gains Desire in all areas. Your leader card is Chile Limo BR. Choose 1 card in your hand, discard it. Then if you have no cards in your battle area, play up to 1 green Broly BR. Energy cost 4 from your deck. And, up to 1 green Chile or Limo from your deck, then shuffle your deck. Or you can play one of them from your drop. Now this is interesting because it basically says that they want Chile Limo to go more into like the green Broly BR aspect, which could be interesting if we like go through and look at the cards. That version of the deck hasn't been successful in the past. This card is quite good, so maybe it has a chance. but it kind of goes away from the old like hand control-y version of Chile Limo. So they're both interesting. Are they good enough? Probably not, but there's interesting. And keep in mind, we are getting more cards too. These are just the ones they previewed early. Next up, my favorite are the Android cards. And before I go over them, they pretty much they need a blue Android 21 leader, which basically means that we have to play where is it? This leader, because clones suck. So you're not going to play the clone deck. We have Android 21, Android 21 self-control, which has a couple weird stipulations. So it does have some cool things with, like, when your energy gets destroyed, you can put in play free guys, lets you draw and untap, things like that. But one of the big things I want to point out is on the Awaken side, you can't play battle cards with an original energy cost of 6 or more, which could kind of be an issue with how you build the deck. That being said, Super 17 Hell's Ultimate Weapon is a really cool card. If your leader card is blue Android 21, negate its energy exhaust. So interestingly enough, it's a multicolor energy you can just put in play in your energy without any stipulations, which is really cool. And then for 7 energy, you can play this card from your energy area and then play up to 3 Android cards with energy costs of 5 or less for your energy area. So what that means is we can put in play a bunch of the Android 21s that deal damage to your opponent. So there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do with this. Now you might say it's very hard to get to 7 energy. Well, we have this new card called Restoration, which is negate the attack for 1. If your leader card is a blue Android 21 card, you have a blue-green multicolor in your energy, choose up to 1 Android 16 card with energy cost of 2 or less from your hand and play it. Now that's important because the Android 16 with 2 or less is the one that ramps the top card off your deck. So not only does it have built-in negate ramp, we have a built-in win condition as well now. So in a blue and green. Unfortunately, the leader is only blues. You can't play kind of some of the green control cards. But this deck actually has some very decent possibility of being a real deck, which is kind of cool because I love that deck. A lot of people like Android 21, and it'd be really cool to see like a hard blue control deck come back. Lastly, we have the Vegito cards, which are really cool. The leader that these improve is Vegito and Fusion Super Saiyan Vegito, which is a leader a lot of people in the past have wanted to work and never really has. It has the ability to turn all of your battle card or all of your cards in all areas into every color other than black, I believe. And that's a really cool ability. It allows some strategies you couldn't use otherwise. Since your energy are all colors, you can play a whole like rainbow deck, which would be really cool. But it's been really hampered in the past by the fact that it doesn't draw on the front side. It just mills the top card and basically gives you 5k. It does draw to Awaken, which could be good or bad. But it does gain double strike on the backside, which is good, and it draws on the backside. So basically, in order to make this leader viable, it needs like a really ridiculous advantage engine or some way to Awaken early, is like how you would improve this leader the most. They kind of did that. So Son Goku Resolve Renewed is a counterattack, and where you just negate the attack and play it, and if you have 3 or more energy, it only costs 1, which is pretty good. And then it has active main for a red. If your leader card is a Vegito card, add 1 card from your life to your hand, Self-Awakening, play this card from your hand. So that's good. This gives you Self-Awakening and allows you to play it cheaply, since the whole point of the deck is going to be Union Pataras, which you need the Vegeta and the Goku on the field. Likewise, the Vegeta Resolve Renewed. Counterplay, if a battle card being played is 15k power or less, is placed in its owner's dropper, instead of being played, play this card. That's pretty good. It gets better because if you have 3 or more energy, it only costs 1. So now it becomes really dangerous. A fact that can prevent things from entering the board is very good. And honestly, the fact that it has these 2 effects together makes it good in actual just regular red decks too, not even just Vegito. And then it has the same, for a red, you can add a card from your life to your hand, play it from your hand. So the fact that these both have Self-Awakening will help the leader a lot, because its biggest problem is the fact that it doesn't draw on the front side. So you can put things like this and Kaba in the deck in order to kind of make it Awaken. And then we have Vegito Resolve Combined, which has Barrier, Union Batara if your leader is a red Vegito card, which that's the only one so far. Draw 2 cards, and then Union Batara is over the top. So this is a couple really important things here. 1 has Barrier, which is pretty critical. 2 draws 2 cards, without having to commit energy, which is really big because the leader doesn't draw on the front side again. It has active main battle for 2 red, play up to 1 vegito card with energy cost of 7 from your deck on top of this card, then shuffle your deck. Now that's very good, obviously. There are a couple of vegitos that you could play. There's a green one, there's a red one that do have some very, very powerful effects. And the fact that it's all red energy doesn't really matter because the Vegito leader turns your energy into any color. It also has active main for 4 red. Choose 1 Vegito card with energy cost of 10 or less in your hand and play it on top of this card. This may seem like a weird effect, but what that actually allows you to do is play the original secret rare over the top of it, which is actually pretty cool because that secret rare is pretty nifty. It has triple attack, triple strike, which 40k power, which if your opponent doesn't have a way to out it, obviously they're probably going to lose. Like, it's a lot of attacks, very high power, a lot of damage. But that's just kind of a cool thing. Honestly, the big thing is that play a Vegito energy 7 or less from your deck. The old Vegito had to do with, like, you had to mill it, and then you could play it from your drop, and it was really disruptible, and it came out, like, on turn 5, and it just wasn't good enough. This actually is really dangerous. Like, the amount of things you can do with this deck, the fact that it has barrier, so you can just slap it down to draw 2 cards if you need to, the fact that they included Self-Awakening, this actually might be a real deck now. It's close. The leader isn't great. If there was like a regular like red Vegito leader that was just good on its own that went with this, it would 100% be a real deck. But this is maybe. It's so almost it might be there. I hope it is. This deck actually looks super fun. So I really hope we get a couple more cards to improve this. Honestly, it just needs a way to consistently self-awaken, and it looks really cool. So yeah, I'm excited for this deck, and I'm very excited for the Android deck. But yeah, what do you guys think? What of the 4 decks do you guys think is going to be the most viable? Do you think I'm right? Do you think the Androids have a good chance of being viable, and this is viable, and the other 2 are kind of iffy? Yeah, so what are your thoughts? And look forward to a video tomorrow where Bandai gives us the rest of the cards that are going to be in the anniversary box. Should be cool. I always like when they go back and support new decks like this. It's one of my favorite things about the game is that they don't just let old decks die like a lot of other games do. So yeah, please like, subscribe, go out there, play some Super, and have some fun.